Gabe, speak to me about TVZ. I mean, we saw innovation. I mean, he was going some mech, he was going some BC. I mean, I know it's kind of meta, but I feel like that's not really Clem's style.
No, Clem really likes to just open up with a standard bio way. And the way he does it is he plays bio pretty much every time. But he always does like a different build, and he also uses old build orders that nobody really does anymore. For example, in this game he went into triple CC with fast stim and a fast 16 marine drop with only 4 Hellions. Which is not very common. Normally you go for like 2 Banshees, for example. But in this case, Clem just wants to immediately have Marines and the micro potential and do some damage.
Now, before we really see what these Marines with Stim are capable of, as Solar is actually still on 3 bases here, I do want to say that like that was a random hype train, right? I was like, damn, a hype train. The people just knew Gabe was coming. It actually makes a lot of sense. I take a look at the screen right now. Gabe is here. He's talking into the microphone. A level 5 hype train. Gabe, how do you do it?
I don't know. I have the same power like Hearthstone has.
Alrighty. What do you make of Solar expanding the way he's doing so far, taking this base over here on the top left side?
I'm not particularly sure why he does it. Maybe he does it because like nobody does it, and he always loses the 4th base in the normal location. The thing is, obviously if Clem knows, like he takes the other 4th, he would just drop there and everything is fine. But nobody is expecting that.
Well, Clem is indeed pushing this base and might be a bit confused why there is none. The Hellions are going to morph into Hellbats. He does have the Reaper here, so he now gets the confirmation. These Queens, by the way, are in a very awkward spot. They will barely make it, at least one of them, I guess. Well, 2 Queens go down. That's a... 1 Queen goes down, but that's a bit of a mistake there by Solar.
It looks like Clem made a crucial mistake, a little bit at least. He doesn't have upgrades, so this push is really important for him.
Hellions and Banelings crashing in. Good split on the Hellbats. It's just Marines left at this point. A little bit of focus fire. Magic is happening. And he gets actually all the Banelings, but he's still forced to pick up these Marines. Yeah, I'm glad you're bringing this up. What the hell just happened there? 7 minutes into the game? Did he just complete? Yeah, oh my goodness, he even has... Well, I guess he wanted Hellbats, but...
This build-out is designed to delay upgrades, but on the other hand, that late, it seems a little odd. Maybe he really wanted to commit.
It's a lot of Banelings here for Solar. Clem is going to do his absolute best. He does have a Widowmine set up here. Ooh, it could have been a big one. In the end, it's not that bad, but I'm kind of with you, Gabe, even though that squad on the left side does get cleaned up there. I think that maybe Clem was hoping for a bit more. We had a Widowmine drop over here on the bottom, but there are Spore Crawlers that are going to detect these Widowmines. That is a big Widowmine shot for Clem, as a lot of Zerglings and Banelings go down. During all of this, by the way, Clem is just casually going up to 4 bases. This is not a planetary yet, but it will be a planetary in the near future. And, I mean, just the fact that Clem is basically attacking and he doesn't have to worry about any defense whatsoever, to me is always a good sign. The only bad sign is still that he's once again down 2 upgrades at this point.
Clem pushing forward again. The Widow Mines, he's got a couple Liberator Siege up. This could get kind of dicey for Solar here. Just a few Marines stimming forward, trying to bait out the big clumps of Banelings, and Banelings finding some damage, but Clem able to push a little bit forward here.
There is a big counterattack happening on the right side. This is a lot of Zerglings, but the depots are raised here and there are no Banelings, so this is going to take a little while. At the same time, Solar is going to run into these liberation zones, but he doesn't really get close enough to the lib, so that's probably not a fantastic move. More Banelings crashing forward. The Lings are actually starting to break through on multiple sides as the depots are falling left and right. There was a Widowmine there that got a good connection, and I guess Clem will be able to deal with this, but, you know, it cost him a couple of buildings, cost him a couple of units. The Queens are stepping inside of these liberation circles, and Solar making a mistake there, losing both Queens, not really getting anything done.
But he didn't lose any economy, Clem. That is, only 3 SUVs went down. So this situation is now actually very good for him, because now the upgrades are going to equalize, and he still has a strong position. So from here he can definitely get into an advantageous position as well.
He's going to re-wall on top of that. I kind of like it. These Liberators and the Widowmines are still just sitting here, and I kind of like it, right? It's giving him some map presence. He will see that no units are being sent out there. Solar did catch wind of this Widowmine drop that's happening on the bottom side of the map. But just the fact that Clem is not losing any SCVs this game, doesn't really have to worry about his own economy too much. It is such a nice place to play from. Now he's getting another base as well, this time near the rich Vespian guys who are on the top side of the map. And Solar, I mean, these Ultras, they can come quick enough, but he doesn't really have that many resources in the bank.
Yep.
and the Liberator is still just chilling here with those Widow Mines as well. And this time Clem is going to get a little further forward. Widow Mines not firing yet. So in the end they will get picked off. But these Liberators are really starting to rack up the kills, man. 9 kills on one of them, 14 on the other. It's just Zerglings and Banelings, but it's still nice to have something to fall back to. Solar's supply is starting to drop quite quickly, and he is broke, man. Solar's just broke as a joke. Those are very good Baneling connections, but I still don't think he can really run into these Liberators. He's going to try to finally clean it up, but once again, Queens are going to be forced to disengage. 2 more Queens go down. A big Zergling counterattack is happening once more. Adrenal Glands is done this time, but the Widowmine hit. This Widowmine has got 24 kills. It fired twice though, but that's still pretty good.
At this point, Clem is setting up two flank attack pretty much. He has 1 flank on the other side and 1 in the bottom. This is how you normally play in TVZ at this point in the game. You want to have a small army at top, small in the bottom, and then you just keep on trading with the Marauders. Marauders are really cost efficient against Banelings.
Solar's going to try. He's like, did he rebuild? And the answer is yes. Man, I bet Solar is so frustrated about these Liberators and the Widow Mines is sitting there forever. It's so nice for Clem to just have vision of that ramp and know that you can always just, you know, reinforce that siege position that you've got going on over there. I do kind of wish that Clem would start getting out on the map at this point, right? I understand he's maybe a bit terrified because it feels like there's a lot of Banelings, still feels like a lot of Zerglings, but I'd love to see him push the issue a little more because he kind of has Solar on the ropes. Solar is not maxed out, Solar is very broke. This is kind of where I think you can force it, especially because these 3-3 upgrades were not done yet. The first Ultras are on the way. Clem is going to throw down a scan. He's even going to get a missile turret there. I wonder what that is all about.
Maybe he just randomly had an SCV there.
But why a turret?
What else do you build? A sensor tower?
Yeah.
Dies pretty fast and he doesn't have that much gas.
Yeah, but what is the turret going to do?
I mean, if there are Corruptors or something.
Okay. Yeah, I guess.
That's the next stage, and we're seeing some Corruptors on the way.
Oh, that final Widowmine shot was beautiful there for Clem. Solar is going to pump out 11 Corruptors. But Clem is obviously not done yet. Clem is going to try to keep pushing. Now the 3-3 upgrades are done for Solar as well. Doesn't have Kindness plating, by the way. Oh, he does. Never mind, sorry. I was like, what? That'd be crazy. Oh, Widowmine shot. Oh.
Oh.
Oh my goodness, that's quite a few Banelings going down.
I mean, I feel like at this stage, I mean, this is like your classic late game TVZ. Big game, would you like Clem's spot here? I mean, the Ultras are out, the Corruptors are out. The Clem's army, pretty strong, but would you take the spot if you're Clem right now?
As long as you're trading cost efficiently and you have the same amount of bases / economy as a Zurich, it's always going to be a good turn position, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I feel that Solar is going to have a very tough time getting good fights now, especially that Liberator count is going up. 6 Liberators, 7 Widowmines in the mix. There is 1 Viper, so he could land maybe a Duck or maybe drop a Blinding Cloud and force awkward movement out of these bio units. Clem does have to be careful that he doesn't get too overeager, because I feel this is not his entire army. I kind of feel like this is a fight that Solar should have just taken, no?
It's really hard to judge which fight to take.
Solar gave.
I like this better though. This is what you want to do. You want to take out economy. If you don't take out economy, you're just gonna die out in the long run.
Yep. I mean, this is the first time in a very long time that he actually does find a base, does find 18 SUVs. Clem seems a bit annoyed by it. The Widowmines fight on Overlords, which means they are not going to help out against the Lynx. A little bit of friendly fire as well. I kind of like that Solar, or that Clem gets the hell out of there, because that was not the best position. This is kind of a random parasitic bomb, but okay, might actually...
He's even starting to get ghosts now, so he wants to go for the late game here. I'm not really sure if that's the best way to play it. We'll see. I mean, if the planetary dies, then it's definitely not the best way to play it.
Oh my goodness, this planetary dies as well. That other command center is still alive, though, so you can start repairing that and he can get the new planetary going. But Solar all of a sudden finding quite a bit of economic damage. We've got the tiniest of tiny drops in the right bottom side, but it's still going to be annoying as a few drones will go down. Okay.
But if he starts to make more Liberators now, he should definitely get it.
The lib count is still at 6 at this point, and they are definitely helping a lot, right, in securing these locations, making it so hard for Solar to get a good fight. Solar is going for it, rolls forward with all the Corruptors, a lot of Banelings as well. This actually seems pretty promising for Solar, especially because a couple of these Ultras are still alive, but in the end they will fall. Clem survives with mostly just Marines. Maybe the additional Banelings can get something done. All the Liberators went down there. Now the Banelings go forward as well. Oh man, this was good for Solar, wasn't it?
That's really good. He killed so many ghosts. It's that's why I don't really like to go into the late game like that with ghosts and liberators anymore. Not really a lot of Terran players do that when they play bio. And yeah, that's pretty much the reason. If you lose one fight, you lose all your ghosts, you lose all your liberators, and then you just trade it so cost inefficiently that you're in like the worst position all of the sudden.
Drone Solo's gonna try his best one more time on the left top side. Gabe, you said he can't lose another base, but he does lose the planetary in the top left side.
And now it gets really expensive. He does have another CC, so that's fortunate that it was sitting there all the time. So maybe it's still salvageable, but like losing bases now is very, very expensive.
He has 10 Liberators. He's going up to 12. I mean, I understand that he's a bit broke at this point, right? Because he did lose a lot of economy, but with 12 Liberators, I really feel that having advanced ballistics would make a very big difference. Clem is going to sim forward here. He's going to try to pick off one of these ultras. A snipe did land, and the second ultra is going to get picked off as well. Solo's got a lot of minerals in the bank, but he doesn't really have that much gas, so losing ultras is painful. That is a beautiful Widow Mine connection there as well, as it picks up 13 links. Solo is going to rebuild 48 Zerglings, but I don't know if he can save this base.
He might just... Oh, he is going to go in. Big surround. Banelings on the left. Corruptors in the middle.
Feels like
okay shots.
That's the ultimate aim of army.
So many Liberators though, and there is a planetary fortress to fall back to as well. That even though Solo is going to clean up a couple of these libs, he did actually save the base for now.
It feels like that's going to be Clem's game plan now. It's kind of the plan B when you're behind, like he is. The plan B on this map specifically is go for a split map scenario. For the Zerg player, it's really hard to get this base, and if you don't get your half of the map, you pretty much lose in the long run. So that's Clem's plan in this game now.
I love that we have 12 Widow Mines on the map as well. They're kind of just tucked away everywhere, making it really hard for Solo to go for some of these crazy Lingbane run-bys. What a great game 2 here. Game 1 felt a little bit one-sided. Really felt that Solo was running away with it. This game, at first was like questionable for Clem. All of a sudden it started looking really good for Clem. Then Solo kind of brings it back. That is a sick Widow Mine shot. Man, the amount of big mine connections we've had so far in this game, can't even count it on one hand. I'm getting good, but he's got a lot of fingers.
Yeah, I mean, Widow Mines have been big. I mean, because the Widow Mines are always so big at handling the Ling run-bys as well, right? If they show up. But I like the counter-attack here again from Solar. I would like to see a bunch of Banelings be morphed and try to keep taking those bases, because, as Big Gibbs said, it's kind of on a clock, but there's been some good trades, and now we have a big fight brewing on Solar's side of the map. Clem thinks he might have a chance here.
Oh, that's a decent one there as well. Don't forget that Clem has less workers, which means his actual army is bigger. He's got a 13 army supply lead. Solo is going to rebuild 40 more links, but eventually, like, it's going to be really hard to get good fights with this many Zerglings. There's just Widow Mines everywhere. This one is a decent connection as well. Feels that Solo should maybe get a few more overseers so he can actually start cleaning these mines up properly. Oh no, Clem! That was an unfortunate mistake, and now there's a parasitic bomb in the middle of these medevacs as well. I cannot believe that just happened. All the bio units got trapped there by the Lings, by the Banelings, and now Solar feels like he can get more done. He smells blood, gets the... Well, he's going to get these Liberators. He might get the planetary there as well. Oh my goodness. Was it because the depots were raised?
Might be.